Doug, thank you so much for being with us again. This is the second video. And let's just talk about the most important belief, the part of our self-image, the core, the source of all our problems. And of course, I would love to talk today about self-worth and self-belief. We're so happy to have you back. Thank you so much for doing this. We're so excited. Thank you.
My pleasure.
So let's just start with the basic concept of self-image. I know in the last video, we were just chatting a little bit more about the idea of self-image. Why do we have a self-image? Why self-image is so important? Why we have developed the mistaken identity? Why do we feel that we are in this emotional prison? So can we just maybe start again? If you could just remind us a little bit more about what the self-image is and how it was built, and then we can move on to self-worth and self-confidence part.
Yeah. Well, if you go look in the mirror, you'll have, a reflection, an outer image. You look at the sweater you put on today, or what your hair looks like. You have an outer image, and that's what you kind of go out into the world with. And then you also have an inner image or an inner view of you. And through your view of you, that's kind of the lens, like these glasses here. Mm-hmm. You look through these lenses, and that's how you see the rest of the world and how you see other people. So your self-image essentially is a set of ideas and beliefs and a perception of who you are, who you're not, your strengths and your weaknesses, your capabilities and possibilities. Mm-hmm. And there's a list of positive qualities and traits, and there's a list of negative qualities and traits. And that's what you live with. And unfortunately, you have to be able to live with yourself. Yeah. And we adopted and inherited and picked up all these ideas when we're little. Our environment and our early years really shape how we see ourselves. And so the adults, when they knew that you could communicate or they could communicate with you, like when they knew they had your attention, they started, drilling in rules, values, beliefs, right, wrong, good, bad. Later, as you got a little older, religion, and then you got even older, maybe politics and cultural society rules and all these things that kind of form how you see the world, how you evaluate your world, and also how you see you. And this image of you, it's what guides your thinking. Okay, you have the ability to control your thinking. But all the information that comes to you and through you run it through this filter. It's almost like it comes in here, right? I watch it, I listen to it, it comes in here, and then it goes through this filter. And again, if I look out through these glasses on whatever I'm looking at. You're doing it right now as you're watching Sylvia and I on this video. You're judging and evaluating us and what we're saying through your view. And so that's what a self-image is, and why it's so important is because it directs our mind, which directs our brain and nervous system, which directs how we think, the actions, our physical and nervous state. So if anybody's struggling in any area of their life, it's highly likely it's because of the way they're operating internally. Yeah, it's causing most of their external problems.
And it's interesting because every time when I have a conversation with people, they always talk about the same blockage over and over and over again. When I ask them about the goals, the dreams, what is it that they want to have or do or accomplish? They have goals, dreams, fantasies, desires, but they're so even they're so scared to even think about it, to even say it aloud. Because the moment when they start to dream, they stop because all of a sudden there's something inside the belief that is stopping them from having those dreams, big goals and desires. And we call it one belief: I'm not good enough. I cannot have it, Sylvia. I am just not good enough to do this, be this person, earn this money, start this business, having this relationship. I'm just not good enough.
Yeah. If you break that down, actually, for somebody to think about that, that's not really logical and rational. Here's why. I always tell people, you really got to get this straight. If you really want to do something or create something or you want to accomplish something, and it comes from you, not your comparison of other people and what they're doing and how great their life appears, but if it really comes from your heart and from you, then you're meant to do that. Otherwise, you wouldn't have the idea. Like, we really got to get that straight, right? And regardless of your relationship with God or what you believe, but if you do believe that we've been created in God's image, and God places skills and talents and gifts, and it's from those skills and talents that would cause us to look on the world and go, I'd like to do that, or I'd like to do that. You really got to get that straight. You're not picking it externally. Your internal, authentic you goes, oh, I'd love to do that.
Yeah.
I'd love to do that, and I'd love to do that. Okay, so we got to get that straight. So it's not logical for somebody to say, I'm not good enough. And all the time I talk to people what they want to do, and right away their lack of belief or confidence kicks into the conversation. And I always go, you should be a lot more confident.
Yeah.
And not like criticizing them that they're not, getting them to understand, if you really knew what the hell you were talking about, you would not have this feeling you're not good enough.
Sure.
Like, that's what we really got to get to. Why would I not feel like I'm good enough? And then, of course, we can talk all about what causes that. But when you were 6 months old, 2 years old, you weren't wondering what was wrong with you or whether you were good enough, right? It wasn't until we got conditioned and experienced these things in our environment and how we were treated that got this idea that we're not good enough. And the other fundamental problem that we all grew up with, at least in my generation, certainly my daughter's generation, and more to come. I'm 61, she's 22, and my parents' generation. I was born in 63. So anything post World War II for sure, is there's been this huge compulsion for conformity, to fit in. And here in North America, they call it keeping up with the Joneses. Yeah. So we've been taught to worry about what people think, don't tell people what we're thinking, right? And we also compare ourselves, and the marketers, the advertisers got really good at showing how wonderful life can be if you buy this car, or you wear these clothes, or you use this makeup, or you have the latest, whatever it is, right? Consumerism has killed us.
True.
It's killed dreams, really.
Yeah.
That's a bold statement, and there's a lot in that. But fundamentally, you have no reason to think you're not good enough. I know why you don't think you're good enough, but if I get a chance to talk to you, or you get a chance to talk to Sylvia, we'll show you fairly quickly where your facts don't add up. And if you went into court to prove your case, you'd lose. The judge would go, yeah, sorry, you don't have your facts straight.
I love it. I love it. And this is not true. And that's why I'm so in love in having those conversations that we're having here, because I am a very left brain person. I am also super emotional, and I express my emotions. I am sensitive, but in the same time, I use my logic. I use my intellect. I am a very left brain person, and sometimes I have to stop myself and pitch myself and ask myself those questions. Wait a second, this doesn't make sense. And when people ask me those questions, oh, how can I start to believe in myself? I said, wait a second, but you have achieved this and that, and you earn the money already. Why you're thinking that you're not worthy? Well, what they're really saying is that they do not have the confidence doing new stuff, earning more money, expanding the business. So can we just really talk a little bit more about this? What I call attachment to this idea. It's like an inner conversation that we are just having with ourselves over and over and over and again. It's like a habit. It's like a new standard. And we just, for some strange reason, we do not want to stop this in a conversation. So Can we just talk a little bit more about that?
Yeah, God, there's so much in there. The first thing I think of is all the opinions that you've accumulated and that you have right now. If Sylvia said, hey, have you ever considered doing this? All the opinions that you go to evaluate something new has only been accumulated because of your past experiences.
Yeah.
And you really believe, now it's not true, but you really believe it's true, that information is really the strongest information to reference to predict what I should do next, right? But if you understand your self-image, your mistaken identity, how it was formed, you'll see that way back here when you were young, you got a set of ideas and you started to operate that way. And now it's 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 years later, right? And you're still operating with the original information, or what I call the origin, or what I say the original sin. There's an origin to all your problems, right? And so that's a big problem. We've been taught to look at our past experience. Now, if anybody does that, I always say, Sylvia, you clearly don't understand how your mind works, do you? And they go, oh, and if they've been in the the mindset world, they'll spout off words. Basically, it's almost like they're reading a book out loud to me, and I recognize all the books. There was a guy yesterday talking about, yeah, but Doug, I'm fusing with the idea. And I just started to smile.
Yeah.
And I said, he said, why are you smiling? I said, well, you don't know what the hell you're talking about. You think you know because you've read it, right? So our mind, the way it works, if you use it properly, okay, it's like a filing cabinet. Everything that comes into your mind through your sight, your sound, what you read, what you touch, anything, any experience gets filed away into your unconscious mind. And this computer, I mean, it can store a lot of information like computers can. And like our computer right now, none of you are worrying about what's filed away in the memory of your computer. If you need something, you know to search for it, right? Well, the way the mind operates is your job is just to focus on a destination where you want to go, what you want to accomplish. Your job is to keep your eye on where you want to go. And you have to remember that I don't have to think about the past, because the way my mind operates is if there's anything in the past that I need to reference to go forward, my mind knows when to bring that up in the right moment. So you really got to unlearn and train yourself and relearn to actually not think about the past or even reference the past. Like that's number one. Number two important fact that I thought of when you first started talking is, do you want to know why other people make it look so easy to succeed? It's really, really simple. Number one, they have a view on their gifts and their talents. And so they start thinking about things that they can do, because in their little life, they weren't really conditioned or hurt or led astray that caused them to doubt their gifts and talents.
Yes.
Right? And so luckily, that's a small percentage of the population, lucky for them. And so they're pretty good at picking what they want to do. And they have the gifts and talents because that's how you pick what you want to do. And then they just go out and do it. And the reason they're so successful so quickly is they just don't have any beliefs that get in their way. They don't have any doubt. They don't have any fear. They just go, I'm going to do this. And then they go do it. And then the next person who's equally talented, equally intelligent, and they struggle so hard. The only difference is what you believe about you, which dictates what you believe about what you're looking at wanting to do. And then you go, I'm not good enough.
I'm not
That's
good
it.
enough.
That's it.
Oh my gosh. Oh, now I have like a million thoughts in my head and a million questions I would love to ask you. Because then, obviously, yes, when I start to talk with those people, and well, they start to talk why they do not believe in themselves. Obviously, what they try to do, they try to point on the past.
Yes.
They want to go back to the past and they want to I don't like this word, but I cannot find any other word. Blame the past, why they do not believe in themselves. So now, like you said, now 20 years later, 50 years later, they're still waiting for something or something, somebody or something show up in their life. So finally they can get what they wanted.
Yeah.
Love, support, I don't know, maybe improvement, let's
Peace
say
of mind.
support, yes, from
Yeah.
their parents, mother, father, whatever. They want to hear it. I love you. I believe in you, because
Right.
they have never had these experiences in the past. So what would you say to them? Because this is huge problem. People are wasting their time and energy and money trying to go back there, trying to figure out how they can force mother, father, whatever, ex-husband,
Yeah.
how they can change. So finally they can get what they wanted. And we know this is the wrong path, right?
How can you expect somebody to believe in you and understand you if you don't believe in you and understand you?
Great question.
The really three things we want to do is we want to know ourselves, be ourselves, and then you'll like yourself. Okay. But we have to have empathy and sympathy, you know, when people get, sort of blame, if they will, they'll use their story like I did for years to explain away or blame away, their mistakes. They create excuses and alibis to explain away why they're not doing better than they know they could be doing and want to be doing. And so we have to be empathetic and sympathetic for that, because first up, we've really been conned. One of the chapters in the book is called The Big Con. So we've really been conned into the idea, if we pretend to be somebody or not, or fake it till we make it, we can be, do, have anything. That's not true. So if you pursue that and you believe what somebody tells you that it is true, well, you're probably not going to do really well. Like I was doing really well relative to the masses, but I was not doing as well as I could be doing. And so I was sucked into a story that if I, do this and do that, well, I was pretending to be somebody I wasn't. So naturally, that's going to cause you problems, right? And strain and struggle. And then, the family, the friends, your partner, etc., they've got the same problem you have. They have a mistaken identity of how they feel about them, which dictates how they feel about you. And so we have people that are in friendships and relationships, and everybody's pretending to be somebody that they're not. And the world keeps telling them, perpetuating the idea that you can be this and do this and have this when you can't. And nobody's paying attention to this. And people are struggling more than ever. And they always look in the mirror, go inside and go, what's wrong with me? Nobody's asking the most important questions, is what's wrong with what I believe? What's wrong with what I've been taught? what's wrong with how I was treated when I was young and how I'm being treated now and how I'm treating myself, right? And what's wrong with all the information that I'm watching, listening to, reading? And so we've been conditioned to reference the past. Just think about it. When you were young and you started to want to venture out and do things on your own, whatever it was, you were taught to, well, you better get a second opinion, Doug. Why don't you do some research, Sylvia? And these days, of course, the marketers got us hooked on these phones that we should Google, YouTube, scroll, surf, spend hours on the internet trying to see if we can get the information that's going to make us feel good enough about ourselves. And again, if you really understand like who you are and how we actually operate and how you picked up, all this information that causes you to think that you're not good enough, we really got to get clear on this. Now, here's the facts. Somebody might say, Sylvie, you could do this, and you could be that, and they're doing it. You go, oh my gosh, of course, what they're really promising is you can have all the money you want and all the time and money freedom and all the things that you want. You can do it too. If I can do it, you can do it, right? Well, the fact is that's not actually true. Yeah. There might be something that you're not good enough for. I'm not good enough to be a great basketball player. Although when I was a kid, I loved basketball. I was pretty good at it. And I used to tell all my friends in grade 4 and 5 and 6 that my real father, because I was adopted, my real father actually was a black NBA basketball player. Yeah, literally, that's the story I was telling, right? And so we have to value, like I said earlier, you got to get to know yourself and then practice, unlearn and relearn and practice to be yourself. And then you like yourself, and your view of opportunities is much more accurate. Like if an opportunity presents me, I'm very accurate in how I see myself, and I really know myself, my likes and my dislikes, my strengths and my weaknesses. So I can pretty well evaluate any opportunity pretty quickly as to whether I'm good enough.
I love it. So we do not really have to go back to the past and deal with the past first, so then we start to believe in ourselves, huh?
All you got to do, I spent a lot of time in the past, obviously. All you really do is you really sit down, and I think everybody should do this for some period of time. Just sit down with a pen and a paper, and I'd ask a couple of questions every morning, and I write the question out. Now, I have 2 questions. Some of you might only be comfortable with the first question. I'd suggest that you get comfortable with the second question, and I'd suggest you understand why my second question is going to make you uncomfortable. But the 2 questions I would ask you, or ask myself, is what do I really, really want for my life? Not what kind of car do I want? What do I really want? What do I really, really want? And you just sit with that question. And you should ask it over and over. And you're not sitting down to get the answer. You're sitting down to pose a question. And you're beginning probably the most effective Google search you'll ever do in your life. What do I really, really want? And the second question I'd ask if I were you, God, what is your will for me? What did you make me to be, to do? What would you have me do while I'm here? And that's the conclusion I came to. I realized that God made me, I know that, and God made me go through that really violent childhood, which caused all kinds of problems in my life, and I made a lot of mistakes, and He made me endure all that conflict and challenge and sin and all these things, and all along the way He was getting me ready to do what I'm doing now, right? And through that preparation over time, plus my own lostness and seeking and searching and not listening to God because I didn't know even who God was or didn't have a relationship, I think He made me go through all that so that I could be here today to explain these confusing concepts so simply to people that they can get unstuck from all the crap and the web that they're caught up in. I think you should just ask those, what do I really, really want? And not what anybody else wants. And not what do you want so you fit in? What do you want so your wife or your husband is happy? What do you want that, that if you go on social media, you don't have to worry what people are going to think or they're going to, criticize you? Like, what do I really, really want? Or a great question is, who am I? And whose am I?
Yeah.
Two great questions too.
Yeah, definitely those questions will make some people super uncomfortable. I know those questions made me super uncomfortable for a while, but now I am happy that I have take this opportunity and chance to ask myself those questions. Like you said, Doug, we're not searching for answer. We're not just sitting waiting for a couple of hours so we can hear the answers. But it's more about just letting go and just staying in this environment with ourselves and our thoughts and our emotions. And maybe this is the only time when we have a chance to really think properly, really think, right? Yeah. And this is interesting that that you have mentioned those two questions, because why the self-worth conversation is so important for me. Why did I ask you those questions? Why we're now recording this video and we're talking about this important part of our life? Because we all want to grow, and people have incredible goals. I know, because I'm having those conversations with people almost every single day. They have great ideas, they have great visions, they want to create, they want to serve, they want to build the businesses, they want to serve the communities, they want to help people. Awesome. But what would you say? Well, I know those two questions are important and amazing. Thank you for that. But what would you say to somebody who is thinking right now, watching this video, and they have those incredible, beautiful visions, what they would love to create? But the moment when they start to think about it, boom, I'm not good enough to do this. What would you say to this person? How can we, if you could just give us something, small suggestions, what can we do it even now during watching this conversation, this YouTube video? What we can do right now so we can push forward, so we can maybe, wake up from this, hypnosis, whatever. Yeah. What can we do? The moment when you start to dream, have this dream, this fantasy, your heart is full of love and you want to serve people. But on the other side, you can hear this voice and you know this voice really well. How do you want to do it? You're just not good enough. Stop it. Just no, this is not for you.
I was just looking up in psychocybernetics. We could probably share it with the viewers. He has what's called a negative beliefs test that he has you do.
Yeah. Okay, guys. So let me just show this incredible book. We'll recommend this book every single person. It's a psychocybernetics, Maxwell Maltz, and you can have it in Polish as well. It's a Polish version of the book as well.
Yeah, and so what he has you do is, in this negative beliefs test, is you write down what you want, and then you write out all the negative beliefs that come to your mind about that opportunity or your ability to be able to do that. Then he asks you 3 really simple questions. And he gets you to, again, look at this really objectively and rationally. So unfortunately, when you start to think about something you really want, you get emotional. Like you get emotionally involved in it, And the whole personal development world says you got to get emotionally involved in your goals to manifest them, and that's partly true. The problem is the way we operate emotionally is not a great way. We've been taught to operate the wrong way, We let our emotions run our thinking. Big mistake, right? So you write down what you want, and when you write it out, you'll feel it, because as soon as you connect by writing it, you can feel it. And then, of course, like you said, right away, why do people all of a sudden have all these reasons why they can't or not good enough? So that'll be easy for you to write down, right? And then what you got to do is you got to step back and be objective and rational and go, what would another person in your shoes, how would they view your negative beliefs? And then he asks, is there any real justification for the beliefs that you have, right? And so he asks you these three really rational, objective questions. And that's what I do throughout the course with the book is all we do every day is we ask you like one or two rational, logical questions, and we ask you to answer them. And so in order to answer rational, logical questions, you have to be rational and logical. And we have the ability to be that and think rational, logically, and we can overwrite, our answer can overwrite the negative belief. And so then you can see it and you can feel it. Like I can change somebody's negative belief around with one question. I mean, we do it all the time with people, right? We'll get on somebody on the hot seat, we start talking to them, and you see their state change right in front of your eyes, even on the little Zoom camera. And we always ask, how are you feeling now? They go, I feel lighter.
Lighter, yeah.
I feel calmer, more relaxed. I go, why is that? And they don't know why. And I said, well, here's what we did. We just switched your thinking. We just swapped out rational thinking versus this emotional viewpoint of you. So I think that's a great exercise to do for sure. And again, that's the benefit of having mentors and teachers and guides, because like when I talk to you, I don't get emotionally involved in your story. And I know your story and all your problems, all your emotions only happen because of something happened in the past. So that explains everything to me. So I don't have to judge you about that. I'll ask a couple of questions about the past. I'll go, Sylvia, remember you talking about how when you were in school, a little girl?
Yes.
Yeah. And I go, Sylvia, can't you see that's the origin of your problem? You go, oh my God. Yeah. And then the rational, logical, mature, intelligent, successful woman goes, oh my God, I don't have to believe that.
True, yeah.
And then you change that's how it happens. So like, you can't believe it happens in 30 days. It doesn't take me very long to ask you a couple of questions to show you the connection to the origin. And then all I got to do is I just got to remind you that every day for a little while, maybe 30 days, right? Keep you away from the stories and the past and the negative emotions and the mistakes and failures that everything's in the past, right?
I love it. So what you trying to tell me, and I know this is truth, this is just a question I would love to ask for our audience. Are you trying to tell me that we can use our conscious mind, our logical mind to change our subconscious conditioning?
Completely.
That's why I love this work.
Easily. Oh my God.
Yeah.
So easy, so simple, so fast. But here's what causes the delay. Okay. Is because you were taught to do two things pretty regularly and consistently. You were taught to think about the past, reference the past, bring up the past, dredge it up. Other people that are in your life, they like to dredge it up as well. Like 20 years ago, Sylvia, when you did that, you hurt my feelings.
Yeah.
Right? And we've also been taught to worry about the future.
Yeah.
A lot of anxiety, a lot of fear about what the future holds. Well, your mind doesn't operate that way, right? And so that's what delays the process. And so you got to find somebody that you trust that knows what the hell they're talking about, to hold you in this moment today, 24-hour block, not referencing the past, not worrying about the future, really just thinking about now and what you're trying to do. And if you're only focused on today, you can't really think irrationally, right? It's all it's all practical and logical. Like if I walk outside and it starts raining, it's all very practical and logical. I'm not dredging up my past and worrying. It's just raining.
Yeah.
So we got to keep our minds off the past, off the future, meaning worrying about how the future is going to unfold, not where we're going, but how it's going to unfold. And the other thing we got to do is we got to train ourselves to not let all this information into our minds. And we basically, this is what we do. Every morning and every night, what we do is we open up our unconscious mind to the world. And because there's no filter on it, once you open it up, it just goes right into your unconscious mind and you're pro. And this is what we do.
Oh no.
And information is going boom, boom into us, right? News and social media posts and AI manipulated influencer, all this stuff, right?
Yeah.
And that's what delays the process. So I kind of like to lock people in a room with me for 30 days, you know, and because it takes a bit of time, but it takes really the repetition.
Yeah.
And not the repetition of a new idea, the repetition of an old idea that's true, not the old ideas that aren't true.
Yes. I love
just got to remind you the truth, which was you experienced it when you were really, really little, if you can remember that.
I love it. I'm so excited because what we're trying to do here on this channel, trying to help you guys to use the tools that you have. And this is exciting because myself and you have had the same experience, Doug. I've spent so much time trying to find the secret door to my subconscious mind. So finally somebody can fix me so I do not have to have those limiting beliefs, whatever. And then finally I can enjoy the life. I didn't have this knowledge, awareness about how my mind works and how I can use my logical mind, my conscious mind to enter my subconscious and reprogram myself. Like it's not about the reprogramming myself, trying to be who I'm not. It's more about discovering who I am really, truly. When I just remove all the masks, who's going to be there waiting for me? What kind of person? What kind of personality? Right?
Yeah. And you gotta think, and this is logical too. You gotta think that life would be a lot easier if you knew yourself and you could just be yourself. And I think you're way more qualified to select what you want to pursue.
Yes.
You know?
100%.
But the commercial world, the personal development world, the self-help world, all these different industries. I'm not a conspiracy theorist, but I really think they're generally trying to help people, but they have no idea that they're really genuinely confusing people.
Yeah.
You know, I was talking to somebody the other day about we got to get away from this new age thinking, and we got to go back to old age thinking.
True.
We got to go back to the original idea of accurate thought.
Oh, I love it. Oh my gosh, such a beautiful ending. Thank you so much. That was so good. And guys, don't forget to buy the book. We have a book. This is the English version. It's beautiful. And this is the Polish version. And it's my version, so you can see all the cover. But you can order it, you can have it, you can study, you can read it, and you can let it go in 30 days. So don't forget to order it, buy it. It's ready, it's in Polish, it's in English, and it's finally here. Doug, thank you so much. We're so happy, so grateful. That was so good, and looking forward for the next one. Thank you.
Me too. Thank you. Thank you very much. Yeah.